How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. This is, of course, a Black Lives Matter, all cops are bastards, and trans rights supporting channel. If you're not supporting that shit, then get the fuck off this channel. This is X-Men First Class, coming out in 2011. It is really weird now that we are getting into this era of the X-Men overlapping with the MCU and stuff, and I am very curious to see sort of, you know, the trends that were going on at the time and everything, because there's not a lot of superhero movies that were coming out Marvel wise besides X-Men and the MCU, so it's really just those two. I mean, and I don't really watch DC stuff, so I can't really see how the trends reacted to that. So we didn't really talk about it in the discussion of last movie, but after the discussion I found out that, like, so X-Men Origins Wolverine did not do that well in theaters, and like just didn't earn a lot of money because it had a, like, not finished release that got leaked a couple months before it even came out, and so everybody had seen that, and then they just didn't go see it when it actually came out in theaters and everything, which is sad because it's still by and far the best one out of the four so far. Maybe, you know, the future ones are going to blow those out of the park, but so far it's my favorite. And so I'm sad to see that, you know, it did not do well, you know, in theaters or anything like that. I'm sad to see that because I don't think, like, I think they're going to learn the wrong lesson from that, right? I don't think they're going to really pay attention to the fact that it didn't do well was because it, you know, got leaked, and more so they're going to think that it had to do with the movie itself, even though people just didn't watch it. So, X-Men First Class, what is my predictions? The name First Class, it could be, I don't think it's this, but it could be another flashback, another prequel that is how Xavier started the school and how, you know, Scott started there, how Storm started there, how like all those, you know, they're quote-unquote first class, you know, more or less. But I don't think that's what we're going to do based off of last movie. I think they're going to try and distance themselves from that. And I don't think, even if it wasn't for that, I don't think that Hollywood would, or just movie execs would think that that is going to sell well or be that interesting. I think I'm very curious about it, but I also am like, I don't know, would that be an interesting movie, a whole ass movie? Who knows? So, First Class, probably going to be more of, it could be like a specific classification of mutants, like they were, you know, old mutants, they are the first ones, but or like descendants of them, maybe, you know, maybe we could classify something different there. Other than that, First Class could be the, like, an insult, like Xavier's X-Men are the first class on a plane, while other mutants have to deal with being like second class, you know, something like that. I have to pick something, but man, this is pretty, I'm guessing, you know what, actually, I'm guessing this is going to be First Class is in like a school class, but it'll be a first class of like new mutants. Like, we're going to be jumping ahead again in time, and this is going to be Storm now having control of the school, and it will be something like that. A new start, a fresh start, something to that degree. As far as a villain, do I have any guesses? Because we've been doing Magneto Striker, so what now? I feel like we're going to do something totally new I guess that's my guess. Totally new villain that I would have no way of being able to guess. Even their connection to characters is probably going to be tenuitive, or, you know, not as strong as normal. Probably be more of a third party sort of situation. That's my guess. Let's jump into it now. Bit of a long preamble for this one, but we're jumping into a new whatever. Oh, actually, so, can you tell me, there was the trilogy, the first three ones, then there was X-Men Origins Wolverine. When they were making X-Men Origins Wolverine, were they planning, like, was that a part of a trilogy, a two-movie thing, whatever? What was that supposed to be?
Originally, there were supposed to be two X-Men Origins movies.
Never mind. Yeah. I thought you were saying two X-Men Origins Wolverines. Okay, yeah. Two X-Men Origins movies.
Yeah, X-Men Origins was supposed to be, like, a new series, yeah.
Okay. But so they like sort of scrapped that. So X-Men Origins Wolverine is sort of like its own thing. Like, they're like, okay, we're not following that line of origins anymore.
Yeah, they changed it to something else. Like, I will say it is, like, in a different trilogy or a different series.
Okay. You know? Should I know anything going into this? Like, is this a part of a trilogy? Should I know something like that going into it, or should I go into it fully blind?
I think you should go in blind, and we can talk about some of that stuff in the discussion.
Okay, take your word for it. So, let's jump right in. All right,
Mm-hmm.
we are here for the discussion of this one.
Uh-huh.
I really don't want to talk about this movie.
Fair.
If I had my way, I would have done my reaction. My discussion would be, this is a bad movie, fuck this movie, one of the worst movies I've ever seen, moving on to the next one. But
Fair.
we gotta do a discussion on it.
Yeah.
I really don't want to. My discussion is really just, fuck this movie. It sucks ass. Fuck the fact that they made the Jewish character, like, say, oh, I agree with everything the Nazis said in the end. They made Charles literally just be a Nazi. This entire movie just solely ruins characters. It does not add anything to any of them. It only makes them not just worse, but insanely worse.
Yeah. All the backstory stuff, all the explanation stuff is not great.
Yeah, all the this movie, the only good things about it are that it answers a lot of questions I had. Like, where did Charles get this money? Who the fuck was Charles or Magneto, previous to this? And it still doesn't explain shit about Eric. This movie explains none of the questions I've had about Eric or Magneto at all. Like, why did he just start going after Shaw then when he did in this movie? Why? What was he doing for 20 years? How did he get out of the Nazi camp? How did any of this happen? I assumed that Charles had broken him out or something.
Sure.
And, that's why they were friends or something. Because there would have to be something big, I assumed, that Charles would do to make them allies. But no, they're just kind of friends for no reason.
Yeah.
Why is he more close with Charles than, Mystique? Why?
Yeah.
And, oh, man, I mean, what else to even talk about? This is the most, out of every movie I've ever seen, this is the most military propaganda. I can't complain about that with the MCU, and this is worse than any fucking MCU movie. This is somehow worse than the 1990s Captain America, which was previously the most, military I mean, it's all military propaganda. Yeah. But this movie has, so little content that is not just a trailer for the military.
Right.
Even I watched the trailer for this movie, and it's they barely even show the mutant abilities. Even the trailer is just this is a movie about people, The
movie is very, it's quite mutant light for an X-Men movie.
Extremely mutant light.
I could say, an hour of the movie has no mutants in it. It feels like it.
I would argue more than that. Not that it doesn't have mutants in it. I would argue that there is probably maybe 20 minutes of overall content in which the mutants are using their abilities.
That's a better way to put it.
Except for maybe Charles. Charles is pretty much using his ability with the whole thing.
Sure.
But as always, Charles doesn't get to do anything aside from reading a mind. That's all he really gets to do. He got to do a couple other things in this movie.
Yeah, we saw a couple cool tracks.
Yeah, but, for the most part, Charles is always just put on the not allowed to do anything because he's too powerful role, which, whatever. I don't give a shit about this fucking Nazi anymore. What else is there to say? This movie is just a mess of plot holes, and it just doesn't make sense in any way whatsoever. And I really tried not to complain during my reaction. I wanted my reaction to be one thing, and then the discussion is going to be all complaining, because the reaction I gave as much benefit of the doubt as I possibly could in each stuff.
Yeah.
But, again, why does Eric start doing all of this now? He goes to the bar, finds the guys who know Shaw, and then just kills them.
Yeah.
No, didn't get the information out of him at all. It seems like, was I supposed to imply that he just went, oh, here's a picture of him on a boat, he must still be in that same, you didn't see where the boat is, and he just somehow knows where he is, based off a picture of him on a boat.
Yeah, that's really it.
I don't get, it's one of those things where if he just got the information out of those guys right then, I feel like a lot of the situation could have been changed. He would have known he has powers, he would have known all this other stuff. There's so much to this movie that just has to do the classic, we're just not going to have the character do the thing they should be doing right now, because then the whole movie can't happen. Or Charles, being the most hypocritical fucking person on the planet, which is his whole character. But it's really, doesn't feel like they're purposefully doing that. It feels like they just constantly have to have Charles be a hypocrite to make anything work at all ever.
Yeah,
or to make people like him. He has to be says one thing, always will do the other thing. Yeah. But even in this movie, he was just saying a hell of a lot of Nazi shit. So, I mean, now they're just really... But I don't know. I am very, very sure that plenty of people watch this movie and were like, "Oh, I still love Charles. Charles is right." I mean, we had an entire, problem during not during this time, like 2011 and stuff, but recently we've had the whole like, "Oh, is it okay to punch Nazis?" Nazi lives matter, and to see that Charles is one of these Nazi lives matter people is infuriating. Like, not even to a neo-Nazi level, but to a literally, this man is a Nazi. Yeah. And then to throw back the Nazi line in his face of, "Oh, just following orders."
That's wild. And that, like, I don't really get... sorry, go ahead.
Really quick, I just want to say, like, Charles is the exact kind of person who feels like he would just make any of his X-Men do the most horrible shit in the world and be like, "But I did it. It wasn't them who did it. I gave them the order and they just followed it." So he's just going to turn his children into fucking horrible monsters because he's going to be like, "There's nothing wrong with this. They have no fault in it at all. I don't care if them doing this is going to scar them for life or whatever." Blah, blah. Continue.
Like, I like the idea of writing a character who is, like, very much the moderates, especially if you have someone like Magneto who can bounce off of him.
Yeah.
Like, in concept, I like it. Like, I really like the idea that, like, he was brought up in extreme privilege, he was rich from the start, and that, like, a lot of his lines, especially early on, are the... like the, we are all one race sort of vibe. It is the, like, I am as black as anyone else because we all came from Africa. Like, it is the, like, if you have any, like, abnormality with your genome, you are essentially a mutant. Like, I'm trying to, make it a thing. We're all mutants.
We're all, Charles is 100% just a, like, I don't want to say he's a class reductionist. He's not even that at all. Like, because he just reduces it down to, we're all humans. Like, there's no class, there's no race, there's literally no intersectionality whatsoever.
Yeah.
We are all one. It is the all lives matter, bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's disgusting. It makes me want to throw the fuck up.
It is wild.
Wow. I don't want to talk about this movie.
Sure.
So continue. Okay. You're gonna have to lead this because I don't want to jump into like let's talk about. Sure, let's have more plot holes. What the fuck is up with Beast? What the fuck is going on with Beast? Okay, hold on. Before we talk about it, let me go to X2. Look at that scene. See if he had like a title under him or something like that. I'm curious.
Yeah, for his like job.
Yeah. So it does say, like, the only thing it does say is live interview with Hank McCoy. Yeah. So, like, but it is live. It's live. And he looks like, he did at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck is up with that? I don't know. Are we going to get an answer to it? I hope it's not as bad as all the answers in this movie. The way that their mutant names are all just code names.
Yeah, that's a wild one.
And it's like, sure, maybe Magneto is doing the I like it because Mystique gave me this name, or Raven gave me this name. I mean, I don't even want to call her Mystique anymore because it's not a mutant thing. It's a CIA name. So, like, her being like, do you government man, don't call me Raven, call me my government name, is now such an insane scene. What the hell is that scene about, man?
Yeah. Like, the first trilogy was definitely going with the, like, more comic appropriate thing of, like, it is just part of the culture.
Yeah.
And I feel like this movie didn't really need to even touch on it, because it
really didn't.
Like, I get the idea of, these are the first mutants in a group, like, everyone else is isolated up until this point.
Yeah.
I get why they would want to do this is the origin of all the mutant stuff, like, we're gonna do it all right now.
Yeah.
But it's so forced, and all the stuff connected to the military feels so forced, because Charles is rich. Like, that's the other thing. Like, I remember at the time, a big part of the reason why they made it very military is because, people were like, this is more realistic. Like, it is insane to think of, this crazy bald guy who's like, oh, I'm gonna, have a team of people who live at my mansion, and they're gonna go on missions, and they're not, they're just controlled by me. Where they're like, well, it makes more sense if they started off as, a quasi-military thing, but
yeah,
they don't need it, though.
And then that does explain why Charles was there at the beginning, like, at the meeting of the first movie and like that.
Yeah, like he has
but
connections.
But that doesn't explain why nobody in the government seems to know who he is.
Right.
Like, with the whole going to Magneto's prison and everything, he seemed to be a complete no-name, like, not even, like, a rich person that they would know about, or what, you know, he is, like, seemingly extremely prominent in the genetic field and everything, where people were going to him for this sort of stuff. So it seems crazy that nobody knows about him when they're looking into mutants, and he is the #1 person that's writing about that sort of stuff.
Right.
And is definitely on a government list of saying he is a mutant, for sure. So, like, what the hell is up with any of this shit? And it's also like we can't find Professor X. We don't know where he is. And it's like, what? What do you mean? He's gone to your government places as Charles Xavier. It's just a mess of fucking garbage plot holes, and I mean, yeah, just all the Shaw stuff is so pointless. Why is Shaw doing anything that he's doing? He has a teleporter and a telepath.
Right. It's
Like, he could just do it at any point in the movie. He could just launch the nukes. Why doesn't he? There's no reason. There's literally no reason.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Well, 2 things I want to establish.
Yeah.
So, number 1, they did, like, almost every time we saw his group, well, not every time, one of every 2 times we saw his group, like, earlier on in the movie, they did see the whole, like, Children of the Atom radiation thing.
What do you mean they said it?
Like, they literally, like, kept on bringing up mutants and, you know, we are the children of the atom, and, like, we want, you know, like...
Right.
Or
When,
like,
when they were saying, like, we are the children of the atom, I did think they just meant, like, you know... I mean, so are humans, right?
Sure, I get what you're saying.
I mean, like, everybody's made of atoms.
There's also the line about how, like, the increase in the mutant population started during the atomic age.
Okay,
Which-
I didn't really think about that, but, you know...
But I should also say, they never, like, no one besides Shaw ever says that this is correct. Like, it is only his faction that believes this.
Gotcha, yeah, because it doesn't really make any sense, like, why that would be the case. Like, why radiation calls mutants, because they've been around for longer than radiation.
Yeah, and we haven't, like, seen anything in particular. Like, this movie, if they wanted to show it was canon, they could just say, like, hey, look at this nuclear launch site. You know, there's a bunch of mutants there. Like, Charles could have even seen it during Cerebro.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I feel like in this movie they are implying that is what it was.
Sure.
But and then in later movies they might, like, you know,
Sure.
soft retcon it out, where it's not really, but, like, it feels like in this movie they wanted the audience to imply that this was true. I mean, did most people go away from the movie thinking that Shaw was just, you know, lying about that?
I think most people came away from the movie, like, not, like, it didn't really have a strong hold on people.
You should remember it.
Most people don't remember that part.
Okay.
Most people don't remember a lot of this movie, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, I get it. It's a shitty garbage fucking movie. Sucks absolute donkey dig.
So, the start of the, like, production for this movie, like, the first, like, hints of it were during X2, when someone brought up, like, hey, there's this comic called X-Men First Class, which is the, like, the first class Xavier ever put together. That'd be really cool. Like, we could, you know, maybe we'll get some of these actors and age them down. Maybe we'll do something else. Like, it'd be really cool to do that.
Yeah.
When X3 hits, or, sorry, X-Men The Last Stand, it kind of, you know, nearly killed X-Men. But not because of the money, but because of just the negative response. Like, you know, in all the critic sites, it was all like, oh, this is poo-poo garbage.
I mean, yeah. Not as bad as this movie, but again, with the Magneto stuff in it, it was pretty...
Yeah.
The writing is pretty poo-poo.
So... At that point, Fox said, we are going to take a step back from, you know, like, the time of the first trilogy, and we are going to do 2 X-Men Origins movies. So, like, we know you guys, like, there are 2 things people really want to see. We're going to give you both of them. X-Men Origins Wolverine, X-Men Origins Magneto.
This was not a Magneto movie.
So, they start Wolverine. As, like, Wolverine's in production, everyone's pretty hype. They have someone working on X-Men Origins Magneto. And the person can't really get it together. Like, the plan is, you know, it's going to be all take place during World War II, maybe like an epilogue afterwards.
Yeah.
But the hard rule is, like, well, he can't meet Charles. Because if he meets Charles, it stops being X-Men Origins Magneto. Yeah. Like, the moment you see Charles, you're going to go, well, okay, what's going on with him? What about the X-Men? Like, what was he doing at this point? So, that, you know, kind of ends up in development hell for a while. Origins Wolverine... I believe this all happened while it was still, like, about to come out. someone brings up the whole prequel thing again, and they're like, okay, we could do both. Like, we could take the story of how the X-Men came together, and we could take, some of the stuff we have for X-Men Origins Magneto, and if we just kind of mush them together, then we can do the two protagonists thing where they, meet up in the middle, and then, we see how they became friends and how they fell apart. And I think part of that is also why the movie, it's a part of why the movie is very not cohesive.
The movie also just, honestly, feels like a Captain America movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you get that vibe?
Like, in what way? Yeah.
In Magneto feeling like a Cap a lot of, it just feeling in, like, a Captain America kind of role. Also, okay. Charles feeling like the Captain America kind of role. Sure. In the, I am a hero who's fighting for America kind of.
I can see
even if I'm not really saying it. Even the Captain America MCU movie is, more of a, it's not like he says outright later on in the movie. It's more of a, early on, I'm joining the war to fight for America. Yeah. Then I become Captain America, and I'm more just kind of a hero sort of thing. Yeah. But yeah, and then with Shaw felt very Red Skull-y to me.
I can see that, yeah.
But I mean, that also just has to do with a lot of the villains around that time, the Cold War time and stuff like that. But yeah, I just felt too sick. We've been watching a lot of Captain America movies, old Captain America movies, and it feels like it's hitting the same kind of beats and stuff. I can
see that, yeah.
Maybe closer to the 90s Captain America than the first Avenger one, but I mean, the first Avenger was also, very much so propaganda and everything like that, but it was it was in a much different way than this. I mean, it was, but it wasn't so egregiously awful and disgusting. Yeah. And it wasn't the cool, this movie is just following so many humans or the military.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to give a shit about them at all. Also, honestly, a big problem with this movie for me is just that everybody's a different actor, for the most part. And it's just it's basically just a whole new cast because they really don't act like they used to.
Yeah, and I will say, almost no one on the cast knew about X-Men going into it.
Doesn't feel like it.
Almost all of them have the same story of, I didn't really know anything about X-Men, or, maybe I saw an episode of the cartoon when I was little, but then when they said I could be in the movie, I did check it out, and I was like, yeah, I really like X-Men now.
Yeah. But none of these characters feel like they're characters, especially Charles and Magneto. It does not feel like an X-Men movie. It's going to be one of the things where years from now I'm going to be like, oh yeah, that was an X-Men movie. That was not just a random, right. military movie.
Yeah, a big part of that's also on the director and on the writers for telling the actors here are the movies, you should watch the old ones, but we want you to do your own thing. And all of them were well, yeah, I don't really want to play this old asexual man. What if I was really horny? A lot of people in the movie were like, what if we were really horny?
Whoever this movie is the most uncomfortable I have ever been watching a movie. It is skin-crawlingly creepy. Because it's the whole movie. There's not a break. It's just always creepy, always horny, 24/7. Again, Howard the Duck was less rapey than this movie.
Yeah. It's weird because
and okay, so I am right. Mystique's character is just that whole I want to put on a different somebody else's skin to have sex with you, not because I want to look like this, but because I just desperately want to have sex so badly that I will disguise myself as whoever you will and put myself down.
Yeah,
so it is what is Mystique's character? They have ruined. I am so glad that the next movie is just the Wolverine. Get me back to Wolverine. Get me back to the only good character in the series.
I really do enjoy it. The montage has its ups and downs, but I do really like the scene where they go to Wolverine and he tells him to fuck off.
Yeah.
It is perfect both as a character beat, as a, here is, actually where Wolverine was in the 60s, and then also as a, this is why, Wolverine's not going to come in and save the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that. Again, it's a lot of this movie is nobody's asking this question, but we're gonna answer it anyway. Yeah. And that was the only one where I went, nobody is asking this question, but you did it in a funny way.
Yeah.
Unlike the bald joke that comes up 5 times in the movie. They really love that joke.
But aren't you curious as to
I'm
why
not.
he
No,
there?
I'm not curious as to why he loses there. He got old. Oh my god, this movie.
Yeah.
The bringing up this movie does a lot of like, this cool thing the characters did or made or whatever. Actually, that wasn't them. They just, like Cerebro or Magneto's helmet or whatever.
Yeah.
Where it's like like they just took it, or Charles like, I didn't design Cerebro, I just used Cerebro and then I just sort of reverse engineered it.
Yeah.
It's so much lamer. Like, this movie, it really tries to, like, again, nobody comes up with their name, everybody's name is given to them by somebody else.
Yeah.
This movie really tries to take away all agency from the characters. Nobody is allowed to make a decision.
Yeah. It is extremely not comic booky.
Yeah. It's just a military movie.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Fuck me. I hate it.
Yeah, I feel like the part of the like stitched together nature of the movie is really apparent with Schmidt's, Sebastian Shaw, because because it is very clear that the whole like Schmidt like getting Magneto to pull out his powers and Magneto wanting to go on a journey of killing this old Nazi, and then Sebastian Shaw being almost entirely divorced from that.
Yeah.
Like, they do feel like two separate characters. Like, they throw a few things in. They're obviously the same person.
Yeah, but this movie really, honestly, you gotta pay attention to it because they really don't want to do, like, for as much of the prequel, like you said that, they're introducing a new character, but then they really go light on this is the same character. I can see so many people watch this movie and not realizing that's the same person until the end.
Yeah.
I can see that very clearly. Or, like, in all honesty, I was constantly getting confused between Moira and Mystique. I don't know why, like, they're not that similar, but just, like, the fact that, like, I know why, but just, like, the fact that Mystique is in her normal, like, human-ish appearance, is, it just makes the movie less, like, there's nobody cool other than the like, Lucifer guy. What was it?
Azazel.
Azazel. Yeah, he's like the only one that like looks cool in this movie.
Yeah.
Nobody else looks cool, which is a big X-Men thing. Like, making the design cool. Like, even, in X-Men Origins Wolverine, like, John looks fucking cool. Originally, Fred, Fred. When he was, like, on the ship and everything, it looked cool. Like, all the designs are meant to look really cool as a silhouette or as a whatever, blah, blah. And this movie is just like, yeah. Also, again, the one, like, new, kid, like, recruits that they were getting through Cerebro and everything like that, killing off the one with the most interesting power, also, once again, killing off a black guy.
Yeah,
like, just,
God. The guy whose power is that he survives.
Yeah, my power is that I adapt and survive, and then, nope, kill them all. I'm not going to kill off any of the Nazis, but, I mean, other than the main one.
Right.
But, kill off, I mean, again, I don't know if the others are Nazis. They are Nazis because they're following Shaw, but I don't know how much they even know about Shaw. They don't explain really anything. It's the classic, like, same with, like, X-Men Origins Wolverine, like the whole crew and everything. It's like, I can't talk about the crew very much because I don't know what they know.
Right. It's
the same thing with, like, the kids and everything. It's like, have they been told anything? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. Like, have they been told about the whole nuclear thing that's going on? It doesn't seem like it. It seems like all they've been told is, hey, you're a mutant. Come with us. We need you to kill somebody. Or we need you to beat up somebody.
Yeah, and, like, we're gonna train you.
Yeah, that's all they've really been told.
Yeah.
And then this guy comes in, kills all the CIA, and then says, does all the classic thing with Magneto and with Shaw now, and the saying all the lines that make total sense and are like, yeah, you should be like, this is a person that is, everything they're saying is true and, I don't know what other synonym I'm looking for. Sure. Like, true and moral. Okay. But we as an audience are supposed to go, well, they shouldn't do this because we as an audience have other information that they don't. Yeah. Like, it's weird. It's real weird. It's so weird. Yeah, and I hate that, these kind of movies make me cheer for a Nazi, but I'm like, yeah, I'm cheering for him because he's killing a bunch of CIA people, right. And I know that in the end of the movie he's gonna get killed anyway, so I'm fine cheering for him killing these people when he's killing bad people. I'm not cheering for his plan, I'm cheering for the moment.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but I hate that they make me do that, because it's like, you're making this Nazi a better person than the characters that he's killing. Like, how are you that morally corrupt that that's what comes out in your fucking script? Jesus. But I hope we get to see more of like Azuzel. What's his name?
Azazel.
Azazel. I hope we get to see more of him.
Yeah.
Even though he's just Red Nightcrawler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, there's no. He's got the tail. He's got the exact same teleporting ability.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they're doing a like, Nightcrawler's actor they can't get back or something, so we're just gonna do a different character like that. I don't know what's going on with these movies. Like, what was Wolverine's girlfriend's name? Oh boy, what was her name? I can't remember. Like her sister, Emma Frost, in this movie. Like,
yeah,
I don't have anything to say about it.
Well, they did retcon that.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in X-Men Origins Wolverine, they changed their mind on who she was supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, so just two different characters with diamond skin.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We never saw that lady's sister like use psychic powers or anything.
No, we never did. But I mean, like, I obviously would have assumed that it's the same person.
Yeah.
But okay, that changes. Okay, so that's not her sister.
Yeah. I mean, she'd be super old.
I mean, I was confused to what the hell was going on. Also, the whole plot line doesn't really... It feels insane that would be her sister.
Mm-hmm.
But, so, I mean, I'm glad. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But, okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Did you ever wonder why Beast is blue?
No. I mean, was that a thing that was answered in this movie?
Yeah.
What?
It's because the cure that he was making used Raven's DNA.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Didn't even get that, but okay, I guess so.
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of prequel-y stuff, like
that could be interesting if I gave a shit about Raven's character at all.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, keep burping.
Or like Alex has the same last name as Scott's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like they do a lot of prequel-y stuff in this one.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't really have anything to say about the Alex thing. Like,
sure.
Where is he now? What's going on? How does Scott feel about it? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't care. It raises questions that I don't care about. If we get answers in the future, sure, whatever. Sure. Alex is like the only one that was like that I am interested in seeing again solely because of his powers. That's it. He was the only one with like interesting powers. The rest were just kind of like, I don't care about Sonar Kid. I don't care about the Wing Girl. There was the adapted guy, and he was really cool. Who else? Was there anybody else?
Oh,
Hank McCoy. Sure. I'm more interested in him now, but he also is again just like he's old enough to where he doesn't get excuses. And knowing, like, just that he was a part of the CIA and all this from the beginning is, like I said last movie, okay, it seems like he's become in the government within the past, like, month or so I'll give him leeway, as when I kept saying during my reaction, like, you haven't done shit for mutants, and it's like, so he's just a piece of shit. But at times, he did, at least in this movie, feel like, the only, like, sane one in a movie of, like, everyone feeling so out of character and so, like, they're just saying things that don't feel like any person on planet Earth would say.
Right.
And then Hank is just being there like, what is going on? But, like, by the end, ruined it. Anything else?
I'm not going to drag this one out too much. I can see the pain in your eyes.
Yeah, I hate it all. I want to get back to our main group. God damn. Get me back to Storm and Wolverine and... I care about others. I care about others. There's others that I care about.
Oh no.
There's others. Victor's somewhere out there probably. Yeah. I hope they don't make it. I hope they explain why he's just fully evil all the time. Like in Shoal's the same sort of thing where it's just like they love their explain to me what this character is. They're just evil. That's it. Just evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wolverine, Storm. I don't know if there's any other characters I care about. I feel like I'm forgetting a lot of people. Kitty, Colossus, Bobby, Pyro, the kids. I do like the kids because they're kids and they don't really know the whole extent about what's going on. And everything. Which, thank fucking God, we got the original trilogy before they showed us all this shit with Charles. Those are going to be unrewatchable. I cannot rewatch those. Well, Wolverine Origins, though, infinitely rewatchable. Already have I rewatched so many scenes of that multiple times. So good. Helicopter scene I've rewatched a ton of times.
Yeah.
So good.
All right. I think we got it.
I said at the beginning of this, going into this, I was like, I wonder, first class makes you think it might be Xavier's first class. It might show us, answers to questions. How Charles became Charles. How he became Magneto. I don't know if that's going to be an interesting movie, though. I was right. It was not interesting, and it was bad.
One more thing. Are you super interested in the Cuban Missile Crisis?
No, fuck it, I don't care. Who is interested in it?
Because I would say those are the three components of the movie. There is X-Men First Class, there is X-Men Origins Magneto, and then there is the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah, the thing that everybody fucking loves, the most interesting thing to set a movie during, the Cuban Missile Crisis. It's the most boring fucking... Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you.
I'm done. Done. Bye. Fucking hopefully the next one's better. God, get me back to Wolverine, please!